Hi, so I'm standing here in one of my native herb beds, and the section here has a lot of purple coneflower. The botanical name is Echinacea purpurea, and actually that's the name of the species that I'm growing here. There's a few other different species that are really nice, and this herb is a perennial. It also self-seeds really well. You can see by the seed heads here, it does produce a lot of seed, even from one flower. So what I like to do is, in the fall, I'll gather some of this seed and I'll plant a few trays in the spring and transplant. And this herb grows really well, really easily, and it transplants really well. And the reason I bring up propagation is because one of the two parts of this herb that you'll use is the root. So, obviously, when you harvest, you will pull up the plant. So you kind of want to help keep, your bed going if you're going to use the root or use a lot of it. And I might mention too that when you use the root, you want to give it a 3-year growth cycle. So there's a lot of herbs like that need a maturity before they're ready to harvest. Like ginseng and golden seal as well, takes several years before you harvest it. This herb belongs to the aster family, and the subgroup tribe that it belongs to is the sunflower tribe. And one of the characteristics of the sunflower tribe is that the flower top can be resinous. And one of the things that resins can do is to disperse mucus. It's very good for that. So the root is one of the things it can do is be an immunostat, and so it helps the immune system produce, white blood cells. Although it doesn't work very long, I think it only works for a few days after you first start using it. So you don't really need to use it long term. It's not going to, help stimulate the immune system for that long. So with the combination of being an immunostat and helping to disperse mucus, it's really popular for a lot of respiratory issues, and it's in a lot of remedies for that. And I also found out, it is also good for poultry as well, for that issue. Another thing that Echinacea can be used for is for wounds. Now, I have not used it on a wound, but I did try this past winter to use it treating a scaly leg mite condition, and I only had the tincture for the topical part of the plants, and I wanted to use the root because that made more sense, but I didn't have it, so I decided to try the other tincture instead. And the point I was at was, the new skin growth was coming in after I had treated the mites were gone and the scales were gone, and the skin was, recovering. And so I used it at that point, and I actually did see some improvement. So that was interesting. And I think, though, probably, if you're going to use it for a wound or a skin condition, I would probably use the root. So the last thing about this herb is that I don't know if you can see, but there are bees around. There's some butterflies, and although there was much more earlier today when the sun was out, I'm kind of taking this movie in the evening here. But it very much supports your local good bug ecosystem, so it's good food for the butterflies and the bees. And so if you want to support that, which I'm very much in favor of doing, this is a very good herb to have around to support that. And you know, it's a very beautiful herb to look at. It's very beautiful to have in your garden. And you know, if you you know, have to wait a few years to harvest, it's still really nice to have in your landscape to look at, and to also help support your local bug ecosystem. But the main use that I use it for poultry is for respiratory issues, and I think it has a lot of promise to be used for wounds as well.